Alright, so today I am trying out a team that I made with my shiny Mr. Mime. So it's Kanto Mr. Mime. I got this on Let's Go Pikachu. Mr. Mime is one of my favorite Pokemon. Don't ask me why, don't really know. I just think he's kind of goofy and cool. And um, so I shiny hunted one on Let's Go Pikachu, caught it. I've never played competitively with it, but I wanted to try to find a way to use it as an attacker. Now its hit points are incredibly low. So what I did is I did max hit points, max special attack. He's modest. And then I figured I could set up Trick Room if I'm playing a really fast team, try to Dynamax my Mr. Mime, and get some knockouts. Or I can always use Indeedee to follow me, Expanding Force, follow me, get Mr. Mime Dynamax and do some damage. Um, and then, as you can see, this is made to be a Trick Room team. So if someone's expecting me to lead Indeedee Porygon and be passive, maybe I can lead Indeedee Mr. Mime and pick out some easy knockouts, and then hopefully still get up Trick Room and be able to utilize Glastrier or Torkoal, who are phenomenal under Trick Room, and then just kind of a standard Incineroar. I do have Will-O-Wisp on it though instead of Parting Shot. I don't know if that's a great idea, but people don't usually expect to have Will-O-Wisp on Incineroar, so maybe for, like Metagross, something like that, that's a strong physical attacker. I could bring Incineroar out there. Obviously, the Intimidate won't do anything, but I'd be able to use Will-O-Wisp to hopefully get a burn. So that's kind of the idea here. Um, yeah, we'll see how this goes. So similar to the games with the Psyduck, I really just want to try to get some wins using Mr. Mime. That's kind of the goal. So, um, yeah, I'm trying to make some fun teams with some Pokemon that aren't used very often at all, and just pick up some wins. So that's why my standing isn't very good. My record's not very good. I'm trying to win with weird teams here using Pokemon that aren't well. Let's just be honest, they aren't very good Pokemon. Just to have some fun and see if I can't, win a game or two with something that isn't a great Pokemon by trying to support it with some Pokemon that are very good. So yeah, I picked up a ton of losses trying to win with the Psyduck team, but did eventually get a win with that Psyduck team. So that was really fun. My goal was just to get one win. I did pull it off, and Psyduck played a big role in it, and I'm hoping for the same thing here with Mr. Mime. So hopefully we get a matchup here where we can bring out Mr. Mime and utilize him and get some good damage out of him. Again, if they're expecting me to be passive and I can get off, follow me, Expanding Force, I could get off some really big damage right away on both of his Pokemon and then still end up setting up Trick Room. So maybe that's what I want to do here, because he's got a Chandelure. A lot of times in Chandelures have Imprison. So he obviously doesn't want me to get up Trick Room here. So I definitely could see him going with the Chandelure, going for Imprison, expecting me, to try to get up this Trick Room. So I can try to catch him off guard with Mr. Mime. That's going to be my goal here. I can then try to set up Trick Room with Porygon and, possibly Dynamax the Glastrier. Glastrier looks really good into his team. So that's my plan here. We'll see if it works. Again, I just want to try to get a win here with the Mr. Mime. Try to utilize the Mr. Mime to, either get some big early damage. If my opponent leads, with the Moltres, for example, I could just go Max Fairy move into the Moltres. And I think that's what I'm going to do here, because if you're my opponent, what do you do? I mean, he could Fiery Wrath. I'll be able to take that if he Fiery Wraths, but I would think he goes for Imprison and what's that move called? Nasty Plot. That's what I'm guessing he would do here, because Mr. Mime can set up Trick Room, right? So I feel like he has to respect that. So I am going to go Follow Me just in case he Dynamaxes and goes for a Max Darkness. But I'm going to see if I can... Yeah, he's not Dynamaxing the Moltres, so I would not be surprised at all if he goes Imprison and Nasty Plot, and I just take out his Moltres. And that would be a phenomenal first move, obviously. So let's see what he does. There's Imprison. Oh, he does Fiery Wrath, though. But that's okay. You see, we both take that fairly well. And this should be bye-bye Moltres right here. There's no way he takes that, yeah. Max Fairy move into Moltres. And he's gone. So great first turn here. That puts us, I think, in a pretty good spot. Because I can, again, get off a Follow Me here. And I'll be able to get off, for sure, another Max move with the Mr. Mime. Here comes Regieleki. So I think same thing here. Like, I really think I want to Follow Me. Because he could go for a Max Ghost move from the Chandelure. So I think I'm going to go Max Mindstorm into the Chandelure. And he doesn't Dynamax either Pokemon. So oh, it screens Lucky. Okay. And he's going to Heat Wave. Okay, that makes sense. Gets a critical hit on Mr. Mime, which isn't ideal. But I'm going to get the Psychic Terrain back up here, which is nice. So I really don't want him to get a Ghost move into Mr. Mime. So I still think, well, maybe I should just go Expanding Force. I don't think he can knock out both of them. So I think it's safe to go Expanding Force. Max Mindstorm. And again, I'm going to aim for Chandelure since I have, what's his face in the back? Glastrier. So he shouldn't knock out both of us. He misses Indeedee, so he might not knock out either one. Yeah, this is awesome. So that's going to kill Chandelure. We'll see if Expanding Force is enough to take out Regieleki. And we're obviously just in phenomenal position. So even doing half damage there is amazing. And he's got Rillaboom in the back. Now the question is, what do I do this turn? I really don't want to switch in another Pokemon. I mean, these two are about to die, right? So I think I can protect Indeedee. And maybe I just let the Mr. Mime go down here. Or maybe I protect both. Because he's got a Dynamax, right? So maybe I protect both so that he can only knock out one of us. So we'll see who he targets with the Max move here. Okay, so it is Dynamax Rillaboom. So I should be able to get up Trick Room. I don't know. I mean, this definitely isn't over. So he goes for Thunder Cage. That's interesting. And Max Knuckle. So he takes out Ndidi, which is smart. And he boosts his attack. So that's pretty interesting. Most Rillabooms don't have Max Knuckle right now. So he definitely can still win this. I have to get up Trick Room. If I don't get up Trick Room, then I think I'm probably going to lose, right? So if Porygon's able to survive and get up Trick Room, we're in great shape. If not, then we're probably going to lose. So I want to try to knock out the Alecki at least. He's going to Electro Web, makes sense. And then we'll see if Porygon survives this. Not feeling great. Oh, he goes for Knuckle. And Porygon survives. I thought if he went for the Max Grass move, he probably knocks me out because he's +1 attack. It's base 160. G-Max Drum Solo, base 160. And he has Grassy Terrain. I thought that was the move for him. But by him, yeah, by him going for a Max Knuckle there, I think I've got this. So the question now is, do I double into the Rillaboom? And I feel like I have to. I gotta make sure the Rillaboom dies here. I could recover. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that was very poor decision making there. Alright, I screwed up. And he gets a crit, and I'm gonna lose. Wow. He must be AV Rillaboom. Well, nice play by my opponent. I obviously should have protected there. But then he's got Grassy Glide priority. That's why I was thinking I want to try to knock out the Rillaboom there, is because of the Grassy Glide. So if he's +3, he gets a Grassy Glide into me. That's, well, maybe Glastrier takes a Grassy Glide. So probably should have just gone with Recover and Protect there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, let's try again. Still a pretty good showing out of the Mr. Mime, but obviously bad play by me at the end. I was worried about Grassy Glide. Yeah, I feel like a +3 Grassy Glide's going to knock out Glastrier, right? So I feel like we had to go for the knockout. Like I said, must have been an Assault Vest. I expected Ice Beam would do more than it did. It hardly did anything. Oh, wow. What would my opponent do here? So this is classic. Colossal team, so this is the Colossal team that Wolfie won Players Cup 2 with. I would feel like he goes with Moltres and Incineroar. He has to try to stop me from setting up Trick Room, right? Now, if I go with Indeedee and Mr. Mime, I could put myself in major trouble here. So it's probably got to be Indeedee and Porygon 2. To get up Trick Room. From there, Glaster is really good, and I'm still gonna bring Mr. Mime because I want to get Mr. Mime involved. That's the whole goal here, is to use the Mr. Mime to get a win, even if it isn't the smartest bring. If I get up Trick Room and I bring in Torkoal and Glastrier, I'm gonna do phenomenal. So that's probably the better call, but whatever. Now what he can do would be to switch in Rillaboom and fake out Porygon. So I don't know if this is the right call, but I'm going to switch into Mr. Mime. And I'm going to click Trick Room. And we'll see what he does. Wow, he just goes for close combat. So, bad call on my part there. Maybe he's just going to taunt me. Yeah, really bad play by me. Dang. So, good job by my opponent. Terrible job by me. Yeah, that puts me in a really tough spot now. I'm going to go for Dazzling Gleam. And I'm going to switch back into Indeedee. But yeah, really bad job by me. Great job by my opponent. If I had just gone Follow Me, Trick Room, this game would pretty much be over. That's what happens sometimes when you try to read into something and the opponent doesn't do what you think. So no surprise there with the Focus Sash on, what's his face? Focus Sash on the Urshifu. That makes complete sense. But what do I do here now? He's still going to be able to taunt my Porygon. I'm just going to go into Glastrier and Dynamax. I'm going to go Max Quake and Expanding Force. Not sure that this is a great move. I guess I hope he sets off my weakness policy here. If he just targets Glastrier with both of his Pokemon, I think I'm in pretty good shape, because then I'll be able to do a Follow Me. And I'll kill both of his Pokemon. this turn, so next turn I'll be able to follow me and get off a move from Glastrier. So Expanding Force will kill Urshifu. Max Quake is going to kill Incineroar. So I really hope that he doesn't knock out the Indeedee. And he doesn't, and I do survive, so... This is obviously less than ideal, but at least I'll be able to follow me and get off another max move with my Glastrier. But obviously I'm in a really bad spot. So Glastrier's at +3, that's the good news. And that's the bad news, he can just Fiery Wrath. He also can Fake Out. So I'm in a really bad spot here. I'm just going to max Guard and Protect. So you can see if I had just gone for the Follow Me Trick Room first turn, I would have swept through this team. So really bad first play by me. Like I said, that's what happens if you try to read into something that they don't end up doing. So bad play by me. Hopefully he goes for Fake Out and a max move into Glastrier. Okay. Now, I don't think Indeedee is going to survive Grassy Glide, but I have no other hope here. So I have to go for it. I have to go for the Follow Me. Max Hailstorm. It's the only chance I have. I don't think it's going to work, though. Unless he's not very offensive. Yeah. Starting to lose anyways. I need to get up Trick Room. And I wasn't able to. Because I made a mistake. So, not a great start here. 2 games that I could have won if I had made better moves. So I'm just going to forfeit here. There's no chance in winning anymore, obviously. Yeah, it's too bad. I made a stupid play on turn 1, and that's what cost me the game. Alright, well, hopefully we'll have better luck here in this next game. Obviously, like I said, if I just go Follow Me Trick Room on turn 1, I win that last game every time. What I was worried about was him bringing in Rillaboom, going Fake Out on Porygon, then the next turn going Fake Out on Indeedee, and taunting the Porygon, and then I basically get nothing out of those 2. So I tried to read into that, and he didn't go for it. That's what happens. Alright, so scary team here with Electric Terrain, Xurkitree. So I feel like I need to go for Indeedee Porygon. And I have to get up Trick Room here, or else I'm in really rough shape. And I'm again going to go for Glastrier and Mr. Mime. We'll see if it goes better this time. If I get up the Trick Room like I'd like to, I think this is going to go very well. And if my opponent is able to stop me from getting up Trick Room, it's going to go really bad. But I really don't see how he could stop me from getting up Trick Room in this game. Tapu Koko and Xurkitree is exactly what I expect here. But yeah, there's really no way he can stop me from getting up Trick Room, I don't think. Because Tapu Koko is going to go before Xurkitree. And Tapu Koko can take out Indeedee. Plus, he doesn't even have the terrain boost now because of the psychic terrain. So follow me, Trick Room. Safe here. I don't see any way that he can stop me from getting up Trick Room. Okay, he has electric terrain. That's very interesting. But again, that's fine. And then Indeedee takes a rising voltage. That's pretty crazy. Then Indeedee's able to survive a rising voltage with the electric terrain up. It's pretty impressive. I feel like I want to go follow me again. Now I have some options here. Obviously I could Eerie Impulse either Pokemon here. It would make sense to Eerie Impulse the Xurkitree. But I could also Ice Beam it, just get some damage on it because Max Quake should kill it anyways. So that's what I'm going to go for. And you never know, we could get a freeze. So that's really good damage. That's going to kill Indeedee, which is fine. Then I get a free switch in. And I am super tempted to bring in Mr. Mime in this case. But I also want to win. And I've been making stupid plays so far today, so let's try to get the win this time. Then we can go back to messing around with Mr. Mime on the next game. Alright, so he could switch into Talonflame here. So I feel like it's safe just to go a max Hailstorm into the Xurkitree. And then I'm just going to Ice Beam the Tapu Koko slot. And Glastrier should sweep through the team now. I don't really see any way how he wouldn't. He's not even going to protect either Pokemon here. So now Glastrier is going to be at +1. The Tapu Koko really doesn't scare me here. Looks like it's out there just for support. It's going to taunt me. That's completely fine. I don't know what that accomplishes for him. So he's got Taunt, Electro Web, Electric Terrain. So who knows what his last move is. You would think on a support Tapu Koko like that he'd have Nature's Madness. Brings in Cinderace. I really don't see what he can do here. I'm going to go for Max Quake. He could switch into Talonflame. That's the only way this could really go poorly, I guess. But I feel like I have to go for Max Quake. Yeah, he's going to Dynamax. There's no way he survives Max Quake. So, yeah, I really don't know what he's thinking here. So Ice Beam is going to kill Tapu Koko. And then Max Quake is going to kill Cinderace. It's +1 Max Quake. Alright, so we're going to get a win here, but unfortunately, without using the Mr. Mime. Maybe Mr. Mime would have won this, but like I said, I played poorly in the last 2 games and just want to pick up a win here. Get some confidence back going into the next game. Then we can start messing around trying to get Mr. Mime involved again. But Mr. Mime probably would have won this as well. I could have made the same plays and probably have won with Mr. Mime as well. Alright, so hopefully we get another match here where we can use the Mr. Mime. Again, I think, the first couple games I could have won had I played smarter. Let's see what we get this time. Wow, this is very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen Ridge Ice used. Yeah, that's really interesting. Registeel is always scary, but that's why I have the Torkoal. So I just gotta check Ridge Ice. I don't know how fast that thing is. I've never played against it. Okay, it's got base speed of 50. I mean, it would make the most sense to bring Torkoal and Glastrier here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Again, I don't think he has any way of stopping me from setting up Trick Room. And then, I don't know how he stops Glastrier Torkoal. So that's what I'm going to go for. Not a game for Mr. Mime, unfortunately. But again, I want to go for a win here rather than trying to force something that isn't going to work. We'll find a game to get Mr. Mime involved. Like I said, that first game really was a great opportunity for Mr. Mime. I just misplayed. I probably should have picked. I probably should have won that match. So yeah, I mean, he can't stop me from getting up Trick Room here. And once Trick Room's up, there's no way he stops Glastrier and Torkoal. So, what am I doing? Why did I click Dynamax? Okay, so I'm going to follow me, obviously, and Trick Room. And yeah, they're just, I don't know, there's nothing he can do to stop this. I don't have great damage into the Charizard, but I do have Eerie Impulse. So if he Dynamaxes the Charizard, which I'm assuming he's going to do, I can Eerie Impulse it. Yep, there's Dynamax Charizard. So I really don't want to bring in Torkoal to boost the Charizard, obviously. So I'm just going to do some Eerie Impulses to that Charizard. Once it's not Dynamaxed, a Max Hailstorm should kill it. But yeah, without the Sun Up, that really doesn't even do much damage. But U-turn, that's a smart move by my opponent. And there's Registeel. Okay, so they played this really smart. Okay, that really puts me in a tough spot. Because now, if I don't bring in Torkoal, then Registeel can get set up. If I do bring in Torkoal, then Charizard's powered up. I feel like I have to go Torkoal now, though. So what would make sense for him would be to protect and Max Quake. So I'm going to protect an Eerie Impulse. If he goes for Amnesia, though, then I'm in really rough shape here. My opponent's playing this really well. Yep, there's Protect. Okay. So that's good. He's still going to be +1 special defense. If he goes Max Quake, which would make the most sense here. But he's not. He's just going to Airstream. Okay. Well, that's great for me. So obviously I can do another Eerie Impulse here. I don't take damage from Torkoal because he is fire type, so I don't take that wildfire damage. So I can Eerie Impulse Charizard again and Eruption here. Very safe move. So I don't know what he does. He'll probably switch Registeel out, I would guess. Because a double protect is obviously super risky, and he doesn't want to let the Registeel die. So he's probably going to switch out, but he's going to take an Eruption from somebody. Somebody's taking an Eruption here. And it's going to be Landorus. Alright, so this is still, a really good spot for me. Charizard's now at -4. And he's just going to Airstream. Wow. See, to me, what would make sense for my opponent to do there would be to try to take out the Porygon 2. But he doesn't go for that. I'm just going to go for Burning Jealousy here. Try to continue to get damage on Charizard, and it will punish a switch in. And then Ice Beam is going to kill Landorus if he doesn't switch the Landorus out. Okay, so that's still solid damage into the Charizard. Ice Beam will kill Landorus. I don't know what he's going to go for with the Charizard here. He does go Heat Wave. This is not doing much for my opponent here. So I am running out of turns for Trick Room, but if I knock out the Charizard, I'm still in pretty good shape. So let's see. One last turn of Trick Room. So he probably protects. It'd be really risky to switch into Glastrier. So I'm going to protect and recover. Now, it really would have made sense for him to switch out the Charizard. I don't know why he's leaving the Charizard in. And he didn't protect. Well, that's a blown opportunity on my part. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Because now he probably goes for a body press. So really bad job by me on that turn. So another misplay. Oh, I'm struggling here. I think I gotta go for the Trick Room. I'm sure he's gonna body press. Body press Air Slash would make a lot of sense here. And if he's able to knock out both my Pokemon, then I'm in a really bad spot. So Burning Jealousy would have been perfect there. Yep, there's Air Slash. Torkoal does survive, so that's big. But yeah, imagine if I had gotten off 2 Burning Jealousies, he'd be dead. Oh, that was a critical hit. So that's huge, getting a critical hit there. But yeah, that was a misplay on the previous turn. Okay, good news is we still have Dynamax Glastrier to go into here. He has Rillaboom. So I feel like for me, what would make sense for my opponent? Probably Fake Out on Torkoal and Iron Defense. So we can do a max Hailstorm here into Rillaboom, and then hopefully with Torkoal and Glastrier, we'll be able to chip away at the Registeel. But he does have leftovers, and he has the Grass Recovery. It's going to be super hard to take out that Registeel, and he does Protect. So another great play by my opponent here. Wow. Yeah. Now what do I do? Uh, Okay, so I feel like wow, that was a really good job by my opponent. Um, okay, I'm gonna go Burning Jealousy, Max Hailstorm. So, that's what I was counting on happening the last turn. There's the Iron Defense. Yeah, that was terrible. I should have gone for the Max Quake into the Registeel. My opponent outplayed me again. And now basically I need to get a critical hit. But what he can do is just protect on this next turn. And then a body press will probably knock me out. Wow, so my opponent played this really well. And I made two bad mistakes where I could have got damage on Registeel. So, I mean, I'll go for close combat here, but I don't think I'm going to survive a +4. Oh, he's just going to Iron Defense again. That's smart. The only way I win is if I crit. If I get a critical hit, I'll win. Yeah, it's just not enough damage. Now, him being at +6, me being at -1, I don't see how I could possibly survive a body press. So maybe I should have gone high horsepower. I don't think I was going to be taking that body press either way, though. Registeel is probably the most annoying Pokemon in the current meta. Alright, so we'll see. I'm sure the body press kills me. Yep. So I made the safe play to protect and get the extra health back on the last turn, but I don't think it was necessary. But again, nice job by my opponent. Again, I get outplayed there. There are 2 turns where I had a chance to knock out the Registeel. Really stupid of me to not target the Registeel. The Rillaboom wasn't threatening me. Alright, so this could be a game where I could use the Mr. Mime like I did the first game, where my opponent could be trying to, expect me to lead in DD Porygon 2, and I could get some good damage with Mr. Mime. So I'm going to give that a try. Glastriers, again, very good here. So let's try this out. Again, the goal is to get a win with Mr. Mime, which I haven't been able to do yet. But hopefully this is the game here. So yeah, this looks pretty similar to the first game. So the question now, what do I want to do turn one? Like I'd love to go for follow me and then a max fairy move into the Moltres. What I really like to do is helping hand max fairy move. Maybe I'll just go for that. So maybe I'm getting greedy here. He can Draining Kiss and go for max darkness, but it doesn't look like he's going to Dynamax. So hopefully he's expecting a Follow Me and a Trick Room. And what would really be awesome is if he goes Trick Room with his, what's that thing called? Comfey. I mean, that would be perfect. He does go Draining Kiss, though. So he's going to Draining Kiss Fiery Wrath. So I am going to kill the Moltres, which is really good. And indeed he does survive, so this is still a really good first turn. So being able to knock out that Moltres is awesome. Especially because I still can Follow Me now with Indeedee and guarantee that I get off another max move here. So see who my opponent brings in next. And it's Incineroar, so this is awesome. So the question is, what do I want to do next? I probably want to get rid of Comfey, because that thing can really be a nuisance. So I'm going to Follow Me, and I'm going to go max Mindstorm into Comfey. What is he going to Dynamax Incineroar? That's interesting. I guess if he has max Darkness. And then I don't have a lot of great answers for Incineroar, so I guess that makes sense. Oh, and he's going to Ally Switch. Oh, no. And I did max Mindstorm. God, I hate Comfey. Oh, I should have thought of that. That really sucks. Okay. Great move by my opponent once again. So I should have gone max Fairy there. That's the safer play. So I want a Trick Room. This time I won't make the same mistake. I'll go for a max Fairy move. Wow. I'm just getting outplayed today. He is going to Ally Switch again. So that's not great damage, but at least he'd be at 50% if I had done that last turn. I am going to get up Trick Room here, though, so that's good. But now he's got up the Sun, and I only have Glastrier left. So, you know, I'm still in not a good spot, especially since I only have Ice Beam on Porygon here. And that's not going to get it done on Incineroar. I have to protect here. was ever a time I could have used a freeze, it was right there. Because now he's got ally switch, and I gotta try to guess if he's gonna ally switch this turn. Oh, and he reverses Trick Room. Should have saw that coming too. Wow. Yep, so the only thing I can do is Trick Room and try to double protect. But yeah, outplayed once again here. I don't get double protect, so I'm gonna lose. The only good news is that's gonna do a ton of damage to Incineroar, but how is my Porygon going to solo this? Yeah, it's with the berry, he's just gonna be right back where he was, so yeah. Alright, well I can try to win, but I don't think it's gonna do much. Flare Blitz is gonna continue to hurt himself. Oh, he's just gonna parting shot. That makes sense. And he's got Urshifu. So yeah, I'm screwed. Alright, this has been a rough go here today. The funny thing is, I played a practice game when I first made this team, and because I didn't have a lot of time, I was going to be going to do something. So I played a practice game just to see how it would do, and I Dynamaxed Mr. Mime in that game and got the win. And I wasn't recording because I didn't have time to set up my recording stuff. I was just practicing. And now today, we're not able to get the win here with Mr. Mime. We just keep dropping further in the ranks. Let's see if this is the one. Oh, that's another very interesting team. Alright, so he obviously can Trick Room here as well. I don't think Trick Room benefits him. I don't know, this is tough. I think Indeedee and Mr. Mime is a good lead. And then I want Torkoal and Glaster. The only problem is not bringing Porygon 2. I can't set up a Trick Room, so that feels bad. Yeah, that doesn't feel good at all. But what the heck, that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm bringing a lot of offense here, but I'm also bringing very slow Pokemon. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. So this is kind of what I was hoping my opponent would do. And it would be great if he goes for Trick Room. It'd be awesome. So what I'm thinking here is I can go double expanding force and just start getting damage out there. And if he sets up Trick Room, then I am in a fantastic spot. Yeah, I'm going to double Expanding Force. So maybe Dazzling Gleam would make sense. But obviously Expanding Force is going to do damage to both Pokemon. It's not going to do a ton to Hatterene. Oh wow, that did more than I expected though. So, like I said, I'm going to get off a lot of really good damage here. And if he sets up Trick Room, which it feels like that's what he's doing here, that benefits me. He's going to imprison. So that I can't follow me. Okay, again, I don't really care though. I don't need to follow me. And I'm just going to double Expanding Force again. He can't knock out both of us. And he's really low hit points with both of these. If he Dynamaxes the Hatterene right now, that's fantastic for me. So, yeah, I think we're in good shape. So he's probably got Rhyperior in the back. Mystical Fire, that's fine. And he's going to Trick. I mean, very interesting here. And I don't really know what my opponent is getting out of this. So I think we're in great shape right now. I'm sure Rhyperior's in the back. But again, I don't think I really care here. So there's Rhyperior. And there's Ferrothorn. So to me, this is great. I'm just going to double Expanding Force again. I guess I can click Mystical Fire, but I want to get damage on Rhyperior. And really, I want to get both of my other Pokemon in now. So I don't really care if I get knocked out at this point. Because I want Glastrier and Torkoal in there together. Now hopefully he protects the Ferrothorn on this turn. No, he's in a Body Press. Okay. And he's going to Quake. Indeedy. Okay. So Mystical Fire would have been really good there. I was hoping he'd protect. But I'm going to go into Glastrier. Now, one thing I could do is I could click Protect on Glastrier here. How much? Okay, we only have 2 turns left to Trick Room, though, so that doesn't feel great. But here's the thing. I don't want to set off his weakness policy before he sets off mine. So I might go for it anyways. And click Mystical Fire. Okay, so I'm going to get Mystical Fire off. He sets off my weakness policy. Okay, these are all good things, obviously. So that's what I was hoping for. Maybe I should have gone Expanding Force then, but this is going to put a lot of pressure on that Ferrothorn. that didn't do as much as I was hoping for. So yeah, maybe just getting more chip damage there with expanding force would have been better. This is his last turn of Dynamax, so again, I really don't think I want to set off his weakness policy. But he just set off mine, so let's go for the Max Quake here. And let's go for another Mystical Fire. I am at +2. So let's see what happens here. So there's Body Press. He's not max guarding. Wow, Rhyperior's so bulky. But here's the thing, Mr. Mime will go first next. Oh man. Yeah, I just don't know if he's gonna do enough damage though. So had I been going for what's it called? Expanding force and getting more chip damage on Rhyperior, that probably would have been the right move. So any chip damage on Rhyperior would have been big. I feel like I have to protect the Torkoal here. And go for expanding force into Rhyperior, but it's not going to do enough damage, right? Yeah, so I think I just lose now. Or if I had gotten that chip damage, yeah, I'm not surviving a single target earthquake. If I had gotten that chip damage, I probably would have killed Rhyperior. This is just a struggle today. I'm not making the right plays. Yeah, I mean, the play was to continue to do expanding force. Wow. So here's the deal. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I haven't used that Incineroar at all on this team. Maybe I should be, but maybe if I switch that Incineroar to a like a Rillaboom, maybe that would be really helpful. Okay, so can he stop Trick Room? No, right? So I'm bringing Mr. Mime and Glaster. Reason I want to bring these two, Mr. Mime's Max Fairy could do really well into the Kingdra. And then Glaster is pretty good into everything else. Alright, so I think this is good. I mean, Glacier is very good against both of these Pokemon. I'm going to get up Trick Room. Plus I have Ice Beam, so yeah, I think I'm sitting pretty good right now. Yep, so it doesn't make sense for him to Dynamax either one. He could go for a Swords Dance. He does go for a Swords Dance. Still, like, I'm in great shape right now. The question is, like, what's the best move now? And I'm thinking Expanding Force and Ice Beam would be really good. Like, Ice Beam's going to do a ton of damage into Garchomp. Even though I didn't get... Yeah, that just kills him. I thought he might Dynamax there since he got off the Swords Dance. But yeah, I don't know what my opponent does now. And that's a support. I don't know why I'm struggling with names here. Thunderous. It's a support Thunderous. Electro Web doesn't do him any good. There's Politoed. If anything, the Electro Web helps me out because Politoed might have been slower than Indeedee. But he's not now. Yeah, so I think this is just a win now. I don't know how my opponent could possibly come back from this. I've been doing some pretty stupid stuff today, but I don't know how I could possibly lose this match. And he has a eject button. And there's the Kingdra. Alright, so here's the question is, how many turns of Trick Room do I have left? So I'd love to Dynamax Mr. Mime here. That'd be great. But I can't do that if Trick Room runs out, and there's only 2 turns left. I'm gonna go Follow Me and bring in Mr. Mime. So I feel like this is kind of forcing things here. And it's kind of a stupid play. But we'll see what happens. Okay, and that's why I thought this would be safe. He protects the Kingdra. So even if he goes Muddy Water here... Oh, he goes Hypnosis, and it fails. Okay, perfect. So now I think I can very easily go for like a helping hand. Well, I better follow me in case he goes for hypnosis again. And I can max Starfall. I'd love to go helping hand, but obviously if he puts Mr. Mime to sleep, then we're screwed. So go for follow me. Go for max fairy here. And now that I'm thinking about this, there's still a good chance I lose this match. But if he kills Ndidi here, then he's got to decide if he's either going to just let his Kingdra get knocked out, or, you know, if he's going to let me get Trick Room back up. So I think I'm still okay right now. I don't think this is going to knock out Kingdra. This is really close, though. Wow. So yeah, there's Max Geyser. Ooh, and the Life Orb damage almost takes him out. So, I mean, we're in really good shape here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Trick Room. And I am going to go for Max Bind Storm into the Politoed. He can only kill one of my Pokemon, and he's going to die from his Life Orb damage. And that's not even enough to take out Porygon 2. So he dies from Life Orb damage. And I should pick up the knockout here with Mr. Mime. With Max Mindstorm. Yep, awesome. So there we go. We get the win with a Dynamax Mr. Mime. So it took a little bit longer than I was hoping for today. But there we go. We get the win with Dynamax Mr. Mime. Yeah, I finally made some good moves here. You know, like I said, it hasn't been a great day for me so far. But made some good moves in that game and able to pick up the win with Mr. Mime. So I'm going to go for one more game here. Let's see if we can't use the Mr. Mime one more time here before I wrap it up for today. Hopefully we find an opponent. Doesn't look like I'm going to. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay. Torkoal Venusaur. So I think this is kind of similar to the first game, where I feel like if I lead Ndidi and Mr. Mime, he's probably going to lead the Chandelure. Like, that thing has to have Imprison, right? So I feel like he has to lead the Chandelure to go for Imprison. And that's going to allow me to use Ndidi and Mr. Mime. The question is, who do I want to bring in the back? Incineroar is really good here. Um, so I'm tempted to go with, well, that doesn't make much sense. Porygon 2 makes sense. Oh, I'm really tempted to go with Incineroar, but then I'm just not bringing very much offense at all, and I'm putting a ton of offensive pressure there on the Mr. Mime, which I don't like at all. Man, so maybe it's Glaster. So Torkoal could give Glaster some issues, but I feel like that's what I have to go for. Really tempted to bring in Incineroar, because Incineroar does do extremely well into his team. Maybe I could have Dynamax Incineroar. It just doesn't feel very good because he's not very offensive. Yeah, so I mean, I would love to. What am I thinking here? I would love to go for double expanding force, but then that's putting my Mr. Mime in harm's way. So I feel like I have to go for a follow me, but then I can, easily expanding force here. U-turn, that's really smart. Okay, great play there with the U-turn. Oh, but he's going to get punished for that. The U-turn was a phenomenal move, but he's going to pay the price now for my expanding force. Wow, and the focus sash there is on Chandelure. Wow, that is a great turn one. So Venusaur is done for, and we've got the Chandelure down to its focus sash. That is a phenomenal turn one. All right, now the bad news is Mr. Mime is slower than Chandelure. He can kill Indeedee. And this is why, I should have brought the Incineroar. I should have went with my gut and brought the Incineroar. That would be super nice to have right now. But I'm going to protect and switch in Porygon 2 because I'm thinking he's going to target the Indeedee with the Mamoswine and then go for a Shadow Ball. So if I can get rid of Chandelure, and if I can get up Trick Room, then I can just sweep this with Mr. Mime. Yeah, there's Shadow Ball. And he goes Earthquake. Okay. So, I think this is a good turn. Oh, it's a great turn. Earthquake takes out Chandelure, so he took out the Chandelure for me. So now I can follow me Trick Room, and yeah, there's nothing he can do now. He took out his own Chandelure. Yeah, this is over. Right? Like, I don't... Well, he's Choice Band on the Urshifu. So it's not over for sure. Okay. I was worried Mamoswine might be faster. But since it's not, I'm fine. Okay, now there's really nothing he can do. Mr. Mime can come back in. He's choice banned on Urshifu, so he can't protect. So he's gonna die here from expanding force. And I guess I might as well Ice Beam the Mamoswine. Yeah, this is over. Unless is Mamoswine slower than Mr. Mime? I guess we're about to find out. Nope. Okay. Yeah, and that almost knocks them both out right there. So wow, another huge game here for Mr. Mime. Just about picked up 3 knockouts, right? He picked up 2 knockouts and was able to bring Chandelure down to its focus sash. So 2 knockouts and took Chandelure down to his focus sash. I mean, that's just incredible. And now Glastrier just wins this. I'm just going to click Close Combat. And Ice Beam. So cool. You know, obviously it was a struggle at the beginning here today, but able to end the day with 2 matches where the Mr. Mime was very helpful, picking up huge damage in this last game here. Yeah, I was really good in that last game. The switch into Venusaur ended up being horrible for my opponent. He obviously thought I was going to go for Trick Room. So by going for the Expanding Force, that was a huge first turn. And, you know, it's really tough to come back from that, especially once he went for the Shadow Ball. You know, that was a good play by me to switch in the Porygon. And then he Earthquaked and took out his Chandelure. And after that, I mean, there's nothing he could really do. So, really cool game there. Able to get the Mr. Mime involved in those last couple matches. So even though it was a struggle to start, it's fun to be able to use the Mr. Mime there at the end and pick up some wins.